sure that there is this balance. So it doesn't release since your body, let's say from that 4 liters, the one that your body will use, the quantity is 3 liters, and you are not even taking up to that 3 liters in a day. So the body will not give out the whole 1 liter. So it is the kidney that is responsible for this activity to regulate the rate at which water is reabsorbed into the system. So this will lead to a production of more concentrated urine, and the osmotic pressure of the blood is now lowered to its original value. Also, if the osmotic pressure of the blood also falls, for instance, when you are taking large quantity of water, I was saying the other time, if let's say the average quantity of water you take per day is 4 liters, and you are taking like 6 liters, which is more than the required amount. So the osmotic pressure of the blood will fall. Now, the kidney is also the brain will send the signal to the kidney that you can excrete more water. So you will, on the day that you're taking more water, you discover that you urinate more. From the example I was given, that maybe you urinate 1 liter in a day. So you urinate more. Since there is an excess now, you won't still, the body, there will be a balance in the body. That's just what the kidney does. It makes sure that there is a balance when there is reduction in the quantity of water you take, or the weather is hot, or there is more salt in your system. It makes sure that there is a balance. Even when it is more, it also makes sure that there is a balance. So this is what the kidney does, so that when the osmotic pressure is low, you excrete more urine so that the osmotic pressure can rise again and there will be balance. Diuresis is the production of copious flow of water in the urine. Then the action of hormone is to counteract this condition of copious flow of water in the urine. So the hormone is called antidiuretic hormone because it's against diuresis. That is why it's called antidiuretic hormone, the ADH. Antidiuretic hormone regulates the water content in the blood by increasing the permeability of the connecting ducts to sodium ions and increasing water reabsorption. So the antidiuretic hormone is the one that is responsible for checking the amount of water that is lost by the body. So it makes sure that enough water is reabsorbed back into the system. A person whose pituitary is faulty fails to produce antidiuretic hormone. So when that antidiuretic hormone is not produced, the person will produce large quantities of dilute urine, and the antidiuretic hormone is against that. But since the antidiuretic hormone is not working because the pituitary is not functioning properly, since I said the signal will be sent from the pituitary, so if that pituitary is not working, then it means that antidiuretic hormone will not be produced, which eventually will lead to the person producing large quantities of dilute urine and has to make good the loss. Antidiuretic hormone makes sure that you don't lose too much water in your urine. But since the hormone is not present now, the person will have to lose so much water. But in such an individual, what he or she should do is to make sure that it takes enough water, it takes a lot of water to balance for the excess loss of water in the body. Hence, the person will become dehydrated because water is being lost. And it doesn't matter now whether the person takes 2 liters of water or 4 liters. The same quantity of water that will be lost will still be lost. So the person should increase his own water intake, or else he will be dehydrated and may lead to a condition called diabetes insipidus. Now, we want to look at the functions of the kidney. First, the kidney aids removal of nitrogenous waste products, mostly urea. So the excretion of urea from the body is done by the kidney. Then it also regulates water level in the body fluid. I said that now. Then it keeps the blood pH of the body fluid constant. At least it maintains the hydrogen concentration of the body. That the body is not too acidic, the blood is not too acidic, or the body fluids, not only blood now, is not too acidic and it's not too basic, just normal for the regular activity of the body. Then the kidney also regulates the chemical composition of the body fluid. It also eliminates toxins and drugs. The kidney eliminates toxins, it eliminates drugs and other harmful substances from the body. So we'll be talking about the diseases of the kidney, the effects and the remedies. We'll be looking at diseases that can affect the kidney and what effects they have on the body, the symptoms, then how we can treat such diseases. So I've brought up this table to make it simpler. The first disease that of the kidney that we'll be looking at is nephritis. Nephritis brings about an incomplete ultrafiltration because the glomeruli have become inflamed. You know, the filtration of salts, glucose and the rest occurs in the glomeruli. So there is no proper ultrafiltration because the glomeruli have become inflamed. It doesn't do a thorough work. That's what that means. Then also, because it doesn't do a thorough work, a lot of useful substances to the body have been passed out through urine because it is not being filtered very well by the glomeruli because it has become inflamed. So, and the symptom that such a person with nephritis will have will be that the urine will consist of protein or blood, those which should have be absorbed back into the system will be passed along with the urine. Then the person might experience poor appetite, might experience fever, headache, and oedema. Oedema is the swelling up of some part of the body. You notice this first in pregnant women, even though their own is due to the condition of their pregnancy, and sometimes maybe they're taking too much salt, you discover that their legs are swollen, sometimes their faces are swollen. That is oedema. Then how you can treat nephritis is that you can use antibiotics, but it must be recommended by your doctor. Then you should control your diet. Dietary control will also help adjust this condition. The next disease is kidney stones. In kidney stones, you have stony masses of mineral and inorganic matter formed in the kidney. The kidney tubule is blocked by these substances, these stony masses of mineral and inorganic matter. So they narrow the lumen of the tubules, thereby they obstruct the normal passage of urine. This is the blockage that is occurring. So they block the tubules of the kidney and they obstruct normal passage of urine. And symptoms, the person has severe abdominal pain. Then 2, fever. The person might have fever, chills. Then the person might have hypertension. Treatment for the kidney stone, it can be removed by surgery, removing that blockage. Then the person should avoid excess intake of calcium. Then you should increase water intake. Then you should reduce protein intake. Might become remedified. The next disease is diuresis. You know, I mentioned the copious flow of water in the passage of urine. That's diuresis. Excess excretion of urine caused by the failure of the kidney tubules to reabsorb water from the glomerular filtrate in the blood. You can go back to our class on excretion so that you refresh your memory back. I've talked about the function of the kidney in excretion before and the process of urine formation. Just go back to get that lesson. So in diuresis, excess water, or the person goes on urinating, and it's as a result of kidney failure to reabsorb water from the glomerular filtrates. Symptoms is excessive excretion of urine. The person will keep urinating excessively. Then the remedy or treatment for this diuresis is that the person should be administered with antidiuretic drugs or hormones. Might be drug or hormone, but that will be done by the doctor. Then this disease might lead to diabetes insipidus if it is not treated. The person might develop diabetes eventually. Then the next disease of the kidney is edema, or what we call dropsy or nephrotic syndrome. This is an abnormal accumulation of intercellular fluid in cell tissue caused by the failure of the Bowman's capsule cell to filter water and sodium from the blood in the kidney tube. I said it earlier that water is being absorbed, so those parts of the body becomes swollen. The symptoms of edema is that you discover that there is swelling of the affected parts of the body, such as the face being puffy, swollen, the ankles, the leg being swollen. I said you can see that is common, or some pregnant women have that, but after they deliver it goes. Then how you can treat edema: administration of diuretic drugs or hormones too. Then such individuals should reduce their water and salt intake. Now we move on to talk about the next organ, and that will be the